Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of our Advent meditation series. And I was inspired to choose this title, Stepping into Assurance, as a build upon for yesterday's theme, which was Hail, Full of Grace. If you read in the passage of the Gospel of Luke, which is a passage that is so integral to the Advent season, you have this situation where Mary is deep in contemplation, and from that deep state, this angel visits her. And yesterday we had the short reflection of what it could possibly have been like to hear an angel say directly, "Hail, full of grace." And the carry through of the theme is, what ways do you open or close when you hear a divine affirmation spoken to you like that? Do you hold it at bay? Do you allow it to penetrate you? Do you allow the truth of it to enliven you? Where are you in your relationship to a divine affirmation for you? Mary seems to have been troubled. In her troubled state, which could have just been a stirring of her soul into bliss. We don't know exactly what that experience was. The angel Gabriel reveals to her that she is going to become pregnant with God, physically pregnant with God, and bear a saving presence into the world. And after that, Mary, who's at least got her wits about her, says, how is this going to happen? And Gabriel says, the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Teresa of Avila, a fantastic Spanish mystic from the 15th century, wrote a meditation on the Song of Songs. And she says that this moment for Mary was a moment where she rested under the tree that was the divine, that was God. And in resting under that tree, being overshadowed by that tree, she could taste, she could pull down the apples or the pears or whatever kind of tree it was. She could taste the divinity, its sweetness right upon her lips. She says Mary entered into this state of union when that phrase is uttered, the power of the Most High will overshadow you. The Song of Songs says this, I sat down under the shadow of God whom I desired, and this God's fruit was sweet to my taste. I was brought into the wine cellar, and charity was put in order in me. I sat down under the shadow of this God whom I desired. Teresa goes on to say that comparing the ineffable to an apple tree is to say we are invited at every single moment to taste the sweetness of the Lord, to taste the sweetness of consciousness within our own being. And that this sweetness could be like an apple. It could be like going into a wine cellar. It could be like manna. It can take any form that we long for. But in order to do this, we have to do what Mary did, and that is to rest into the assurance of this invitation. Now, I titled the theme, Step into Assurance, because if you look at the etymology of assurance, you'll find that there's a trinity of meaning that's happening there. And for us to rest into the full assurance, we need to make a choice. And that choice itself is the action of stepping into the assurance. Assurance, at its root, coming from the French, it's a noun, and it is a solemn pledge or promise It's a solemn pledge to us. But assurance also is a certainty and a self-confidence. I am assured. And there is one other aspect to this word assurance, and that is to be rendered sure. So as we step into assurance, as we respond to the divine invitation to taste the sweetness of the word at each moment, we ourselves are rendered sure. So I'd invite you today to choose which of those 3 relationships to assurance you want to act on today. Would you like to spend the day stepping into the assurance that there is a promise, that there is a pledge for your happiness? And let yourself explore and examine that. Would you like to step into the assurance of the response, of the certainty that you've been given lots of signs and lots of divine words, and now it's time to surrender into them, to accept them, to taste the fruit? Or would you like to relish the process that's happening in you right now of being rendered sure? Because the result will be you stepping forward, a certain being, that in the uncertainty of all life, you will become a stable light, a stable essence, an echo of the divine. So there's the invitation. So let's step into our meditation practice. Today, I'd like to lead you in a Taoist practice that I've been doing called the inner smile. And this is a Trinitarian experience of the acceptance of ineffable light, a lighting within. The focus is on the physical body, a lighting within the physical body, and letting us vibrate to that high life force energy. But it's a chance for you to engage the Trinitarian aspect of stepping into assurance, so that the power of the Most High will overshadow you and you will taste of its fruit. So I invite you to adjust your position if you need to. Let your feet rest solidly and clearly on the floor and close your eyes. And with the eyes closed, notice that there is a golden light, a happy, joyful light just between your eyebrows, before you. And with your eyes closed, look to this light. This light could be life force. It could be the presence of Christ. Allow it to be what you know to be true for yourself. And drink that light into the eyes. Allow a small smile to be on your face. And in drinking the light into the eyes, let the light move downward through the face. And from the face to the throat and into the heart. Your smile is a response to the light that is before you. And let the heart expand. See it filled with light in every corner and crevice. Let this light move from the heart down to all the organs and down into the genitals. Now bring the gaze upward again and look to this light that sits before your third eye. And drink it in once again through the eyes. And this time, let it move into the mouth. And as it's in the mouth, swallow the light. And in the swallowing, drink in the light to move down the esophagus, all the way to the stomach. And down through the intestines and colon. And now move the gaze upward once again, looking at this glowing, happy light before you. And allow it to enter through the forehead, the third eye, into the very, very center of the brain. In Taoism, this is called the third room, the very center. And let the light expand, filling the entire cavity of your skull. The light moves to the thalamus and pineal gland, called the crystal room. And again, the entire brain is alighted and enlivened. This light moves down to the brain stem. And down what is called the governor channel. It moves slowly through each vertebrae, the cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. And allow this life force, this divine light and essence that is before you, to flood your entire being through the three channels or simply through every cell of your physical body. And in response, in the assurance, let every part of your body smile as it is alighted. And as we bring this meditation to a close, I invite you to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And draw your palms together and open your eyes with Namaste. Namaste. How can you step into assurance today when Mary heard the words of Gabriel that she would be overshadowed by the power of the ineffable? She could do nothing less than give her full assent, something each of us is called to in response to the divine word. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow.